Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
I was actually talking with another UFC lightweight, and he was telling me because he went through the Ultimate Fighter when he was young, when he was 21, and he didn't make the UFC, so he had to go back to the regional scene, train, fight more, move to the US. Finally, got a Contender Series fight, won that, and got signed to the UFC. And he told me it's not about who shines the brightest, but it's more of who shines the longest or burns longer. You know, it's so true, right? It kind of true about yourself as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, the UFC is a weird. I guess they look for different things in everybody. Just because you could be the guy that's going in there smashing everybody, but lose the finale or lose a final, and you might not even get signed. So, man, they always look for something a little bit different in everybody. So, yeah, I mean, whoever's shining the longest is more than likely going to be the guy they're looking to get.
For sure. And in the moment, man, you got your hand raised as the tough 31 champion inside that octagon. You get to speak with Joe Rogan, all of that, all the good stuff, that comes with winning. How did you feel, man, in that moment, though? Like, did it all come at you like at one time, or did it take some time afterwards?
No, not really. I think it all came at me at one time, man. And it's like I'm a true believer that everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, man, maybe I wasn't successful in my first couple of UFC runs because I was meant to be here and win the Ultimate Fighter and really be in the UFC this way. So, yeah, it all kind of hit me all at once, man. And huge pressure relieved off of my shoulders. And it's like, you know, I did it.
You did. You definitely did it. And that finishing sequence, man, from the armbar to the triangle, so slick, man. If you train jiu-jitsu, you see that, you're like, damn, that was beautiful. And he actually kind of like fell into it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, which I knew the way he bridged me off, I knew I was going to lose the position. So I just figured I was going to attack the arm and try to make something out of it or use it to get back to my feet. But when I went for the arm and I felt him go face down, I'm like, man, I'm just going to make him roll and I'm just going to try to hit it, man. And I did. I tried to grab his leg and I pulled it over. And as soon as we rolled, the opportunity was there. So I snatched it up and ran with it.
Yeah, yeah, you did it. I thought it was one of the like best submission wins of the year last year, man. It's just the way it played out and the way you just it seemed too easy. I think that's
Yeah.
why maybe people don't consider it as a submission of the year.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing was the transition. I mean, everybody gets triangle submissions, but it's just the way that it was done. And yeah, I agree, man. I was hoping I would get some kind of crazy submission of the year award, but I got plenty of time to get one of those,
Yeah,
man. So I'll keep on trying.
definitely, definitely. That fight was in August, man. What took so long for you to get booked?
So I'm not really sure. I mean, I had already told myself that I wasn't going to rush it because we had Thanksgiving coming up, we had Christmas coming up. I did want to get on that December 16th card, so I was like, man, if I can get on that card, and I even reached out to my managers like, hey, I'll fight somebody on that card if they want. But if not, then I'll just finish taking off the rest of the year and try to jump back in maybe January. And still didn't get a phone call, and I'm like, well, yeah, man, we're starting to get a little bit later, and I see all these shows starting to get booked for January, February, March, and then finally later January, my manager called me and said, "Hey, here's your guy, Trey Odgen, March 23rd. You good with it?" I'm like, "Let's do it."
Easy. And before we talk about Trey Ogden, how was the homecoming? I know you own a couple of businesses, a couple of gyms. How was the homecoming, man? Because you had that support from your students and the gym members and everything.
It was amazing, man. I mean, as soon as I got home, my wife already kind of arranged to have like a police escort like into my hometown. So man, I mean, I'm just chilling in the seat, and where we get off the exit, and I'm almost to where my gym is, and all of a sudden the cops are on the side of the road. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And next thing you know, this cop cuts in front of us and brings us in, and I got like all of my gym members, like in front of my gym. So all with like signs and welcoming me back home and stuff. Some even had me a couple cases of beer. So I'm like, man, that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's one of those moments, man, in your life that you'll never forget, right?
No, 100%, 100%. And that just always lets you know is how many supporters I have back home. everybody that's back home that helps me and supports me, and man, they make it easy for me.
Trey Ogden, man, March 23rd. How do you feel about him and his skill set?
I mean, he's a good opponent, man. He's well rounded. I think he's good at everything, not great at anything. Um, Pretty good jiu-jitsu, I guess. But yeah, we'll see, man. You just never know. You never know going into a fight. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up off. You never know who's going to show up having their best day ever. So that's the fun part about fighting. So, but yeah, man, we're about 2 weeks out. So I'm excited for this one, and I'm ready to get in there and see how it goes.
Yeah, like yourself, Ogden, he owns a gym. He has his own team. He's actually a coach as well, you know. When you're a coach fighter, because there's not many out there, right? Especially in the UFC.
Right.
Like, what is different about that? You know what I mean? Like, why is that a benefit for you?
Well, it's a benefit, but I think it also makes me work harder, because I'm in the gym, several classes a day. And even before I train, I still got to teach all of my kids' classes, all the classes that come before mine. And then when it's time for me to train, then I'll train in my class. But man, really, by the time it's time for me to train, I'm exhausted, man. I've been working all day, but at the same time, it's good because it keeps me in the gym. I'm never out of the gym, even when you know, I got the call for the fight for Trey. I mean, at the least, I train 5 days a week. At the least, I train with my guys. I train with my students every day. Um, so I'm never out of the gym. That's the good part about owning the gym. You're there every day. You're working every day. So, but yeah, man. I mean, I balance it out. It's good to own a gym. It's good to have students to train with whenever you want to train, and I think it helps.
Yeah, training, because like you mentioned, you teach all day, then you train yourself at night. Like training while you're somewhat fatigued is actually going to be beneficial for you when you actually get in a fight, right? I don't think I've ever seen you like gas though, to be honest.
Yeah, or even if I do get tired, man, I feel like I put on a poker face and I'm like, I'm gonna be tired regardless whether I go 5 rounds or I stop right here. So I'm gonna keep on pushing until time's over with, and then when the fight's over, I can go to the back, lay down, and die if I need to. But while the fight's going, man, I'm going.
Yeah. I've talked to Ogden's former opponents, and some of them say that he's very tricky because
Mhm.
he rarely takes chances. Like he's kind of very rigid with like his game plan. Like even if he's losing, he's going with like what he thinks will win the fight. Do you see that
Right.
by watching his tape?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he is tricky, but at the same time, he doesn't press the action, like I do. I feel like I have a very controlled pressure, a controlled chaos. Like I'm not gonna run straight at you. I'm not gonna give you anything, but I'm gonna make you feel the pressure. You can go back and watch every single one of my fights. I'm not taking a back step. I'm always using my footwork going forward, cutting angles, but I'm always trying to pressure you. And I feel like I always force these guys to gas out and make mistakes. And you know, no crazy game plan for me. That's my game plan. It's just a fight. Sharpen whatever I'm good at and keep getting better at it, things that I'm not great at.
You have four straight second round finishes. Is there something to that? Because dudes is just like getting tired.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. And what's funny is, and a lot of the guys on the show let me have it a little bit because during like some of the interviews on the Ultimate Fighter, I said that I think I can finish all these guys in the first round. And then it turns out I'm finishing everybody in the second round. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. First round, second round, third round, I don't really care. I like second round though. You don't get too tired, and right in the middle of the fight, perfect.
Yeah, and also you get to show a little bit, right? Show a little bit before the
Yeah,
finish.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
little bit of ring time, man. Because I've had fights where I've knocked guys out in the first 15, 14 seconds, and I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, it's over already. I've choked guys out in 20 seconds. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I would have liked to fight a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, second round's always good because you get in there, you get a little work, you get that ring rust out if you have any, and have a little fun and hopefully get the victory and go home celebrate.
You're on a training trip right now, right?
Yeah, I'm out here at Deerfield, Florida, at
Okay.
Kill Cliff training. My second time coming out here this month. Just man, getting different looks. Today I got to train with Chandler. Today I trained with Roe, You know, they wasn't here last time I came down, so it was good training with those guys. A little bit of tough 31 reunion.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's some killers out there, dude. Like it's sink or it's swim, like 100%. But that's why that gym's so great.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fighters from the Ultimate Fighter show, they really have high praises for Michael Chandler, man. Like, is he that guy? Like, is he what he is?
I think so, man. I think he's a straight up real dude, you know. And I felt like for me, he definitely helped me out a lot while I was on the show. I think he really genuinely cared about all of his guys on the show, and really wants what's best for us, and really tries to help any way he can. And I think even in a way that he didn't know he would feel about us, he feels. So you know, it was good to all kind of bond like that and really create chemistry with each other and really become like real teammates, which is weird to say because, you know, before that, you know, we've never spent any time with each other. So to be able to go out on the show, and even on the show, like you hear everybody say, man, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win this show. And everybody says that. And I even said the same thing. But next thing you know, I got, you know, 4 or 5 brothers from the Ultimate Fighter now that I'm like, I consider either my coach, like Coach Stroud, Coach Sean, and Chandler, and Coach Drysdale, Bader. I mean, those guys were great and they helped so much. And then all the guys in the house like Roe, Jason, and Austin, you know. And even some of the guys on the prospects team, you know, I still keep in touch with a lot of those guys. I got a lot of good friends from the Ultimate Fighter. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the show for me is the relationships I've built with some of these guys.
Is that the perfect balance for you? Like moving forward is like train in your home gym with your team and then go get the sparring that you need at Kill Cliff or wherever gym that you're training at?
I think so, man. I really think that's like the best way to train. Like I get the best of both. I get to be at my gym, which I have a great gym. I got a lot of young and upcoming guys. I got a lot of pros. I got a lot of amateurs. I got some guys in PFL. I got some guys in Bellator. You know, I got guys on the cusp of getting in the UFC right now. So, I mean, I'm at my gym. We're working hard every day, and then I'm able to come out here and spar with some killers like Chandler, Rowe, um, Christos. I can't really say. I forgot his
Yagos?
last name. Yeah, Gagos.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Lee. I think I sparred with Kevin Lee quite a few times last time I was here, and then all the other guys that got here, man. Like those guys are gonna push you hard as you can go. And then at the same time, like I'm about to go back home next week and just spend my last week at home before I fly out, just fine tune some things. And, you know, I think that's the best balance of training you can get.
You know, right now you're fighting, but I could see you being involved with the UFC for the next 30 years, even as a coach, cornering fighters and stuff like that. Do you see that in your future?
Yeah, you know, I hope so. And I hope that's what I'm building back in my gym. Like I say, I've even gotten some of my guys, and I do a lot of self managing for a lot of my guys, you know, because I feel like I got a lot of connections that help out for like the local scene and even some of the regional shows, you know, and even sometimes like I'll have a guy that needs that next step. So I'll call my management and I'll say, hey, Brian, Chris, you know, I got this guy here. Check him out. Tell me what you think. See if you want to sign him and let me know. And so, you know, one of my guys that we did that, and I think he's like 6-0 right now, 6 knockouts, and knocking on the door of the Contender Series. And hopefully he'll be in there, and there's many more to follow. And I'll be coaching these guys in the UFC in the next years to come.
Yeah, man. Pay it back. Pay it forward, right?
For sure.
Yeah, man. It's great to see. You know, how do you see yourself performing in this one coming up? What are your expectations?
Just to go out there and perform like I know I can. You know, I think I really showed a different side in the last couple fights that I've had. So I think as long as I go out and I fight like that and I fight with the confidence to win the fight like I have been, I feel like I can make a real run in the UFC. So, you know, and even down here training with some of the best guys in the world, some of the killers at Kill Cliff, you know, and being able to push them as well as them pushing me really says a lot too. So yeah, man, I'm ready to make a run. I think I feel good. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I know everybody says that for a fight camp, but I really think I am. I think I'm the sharpest I've ever been. I'm the smartest I've ever been. You know, I've made all these mistakes in the past for a reason, so I can succeed at this go right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, man. One last thing. Back in your first stint, USADA was in control. Now you enter the new year with Drug Free Sports International. Do you feel a difference, or is it just the same?
I mean, it kind of feels the same. I've already been tested by them, but it's kind of the same thing, man. They show up to your house. I feel like they made it a little bit easier, a little bit more simple to for all that. It went a lot quicker last time they showed up. But yeah, it's still generally the same. It's not much different. Still got to do your quarterly whereabouts every 3 months, and anywhere time you leave, you got to update them, and that's all the same.
It's like probation or something. I don't know. But it is what it is, right? It's part of the deal, right? To keep the sport as clean as possible.
That's it, man. I mean, I don't mind it. They're keeping the sport clean. They're doing their job. I mean, and for a guy like me that's never taken anything in my life, I'm like, I don't care. Show up and test me anytime,
March 23rd, UFC Fight Night. This is an interesting matchup, man. That's the word that I like to use. Interesting matchup with the style that you have and the approach that he has. We're gonna see something interesting. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Kurt, for the time,
Really
and
good, man.
all the
I
best,
appreciate it.
man. And hopefully we'll see you like at least 3 times this year.
Yeah, man. Hopefully so. Hopefully everything goes my way on March 23rd. I'll pull this one out and on to the next one.